welcome to our channel Kalpataru, a learning knowledge sharing platform. As we introduced in our last session, as we begin this new session of Guru Shishya learning module, we sincerely offer our prayer with deep regard and respect to all our parents, teachers, spiritual masters and gurus, and seek their blessings to this initiative forward for the benefit of everyone. Now we need to just recap what we studied yesterday or discussed yesterday. As Dr. APJ Kalam sir has mentioned about some of the important points, the influence of parents, the influence of primary school teacher, and the continuous guidance of the students. These are the important things to shape a bright future for the youth. So in this session, we shall discuss more points towards our journey in achieving our targets. By discussion more on the preparatory activities and connected psychological issues. So very first thing, we need to understand that the importance of transition stage, when the transition happens when we move from school to college, or the transition happens when we move from college to employment domain, these transition points and turning points are extremely important, as they hold all the secrets of our success. Those who manage this transition point with advanced planning and preparation and anticipate about the different challenges and issues, they are in a better position to win this game, win this match. So these transition points are most important. The first step towards the transition point is that we need to have a general idea about the career and the future pathway which we like to move forward, eventually after college or something. So for that we need to prepare much in advance. So a general understanding need to be there, whether we want to go in public jobs or private jobs or some immediate temporary jobs, internship, or there are a number of channels are there where we can go and engage ourselves. Those planning we need to do. And once we set our target of achieving a particular kind of job or career, then we need to see that if we are not able to reach to the point directly at one stroke, then we need to make multiple strokes in between so that our journey continues. That I will discuss subsequently. But once we need to have a general idea where we wanted to go, that much is enough. The fineness will come as we move progress. Very detailed things may not come up. Somebody may like private kind of jobs. Somebody may like corporate kind of jobs. Someone may like to move around different places. Someone likes to be study at one place. Someone expects that we must get good compensation or salary. Someone says, okay, salary is not important. For me, the power and authority is important. So these are all different kind of psychological makeups which each one of us represent. And there are number of varieties are available in this. There is nothing like good and bad. But we need to know ourselves. So the very important stage is that we need to identify our targets and career path which we want to follow. And duly understanding our inner consciousness, inner awareness on the subject, likings on the subject. It should not be something that someone else has told to us. Like in a school and college, most of the time the subjects or the streams what we choose are generally decided by the friends, or you listen to someone else, they said so, that's why you have taken those subjects. But if you remember, if you just recap what exactly happens in school and college days, time moves very fast. In the school days, we remain with parents. As we start growing up, with relatives, with friends, time moves very fast with play and all and all. Then the moment we enter into college, again the thing starts rolling very fast. Friends, parties, sports, games, number of competitions, recognitions and all, so many things. And one day finally you see yourself, you have touched the end point, where you have to face the transition point from college to employment domain. That is the point. When we leave our old friends, old places, all kind of awareness what we have accumulated till that time, suddenly we have to lose all those things, at least in psychological sense, and prepare for the next journey. So that's why I'm saying the transition point management is very important. So that is the transition point management which we need to always keep in mind. If we know this right from the beginning, then we can start preparing for all these points. Maybe asking friends, parents, going through net, reading different articles, and by doing all those things we will get rough idea. With that much idea is sufficient in the initial stage. We need not to go in very deep details into those things, but in the initial stages that much is enough to give us some kind of understanding. Second important point is that whatever we choose, where we wanted to go, we want to build our career and all, it should be based on your inner strength. You may not be exactly knowing, but something which you like, something which is there in you, where you feel, okay, no, this is the good point I am having. It is not something in comparative sense, I am having better than someone else. Not in that way I am saying. But I am saying you have some kind of gut feeling, some kind of understanding about your own strength, that I can do this task nicely, I can do this particular job properly, I love to do this kind of thing. Then you may definitely choose those things. Like one of my friends was asking, if someone wanted to join as fighter pilot in Air Force, then playing or the skilling and liking for computer games is really a good point. I don't know how is the psychologically they are interlinked, but these kind of skills of very handy towards playing games on the laptop or on the mobile, and these things are much more needed. I mean, these are the positive attributes for a fighter pilot, as being told by some of my colleagues. So like this, so your small habits, your small dislikings may have some kind of deep connection with your career or with the path which you want to move ahead in future. That we need to understand. And next point is that having understood the requirement of initial planning and understanding your strength, getting some idea about the future pathway in which you want to have your journey commenced. Then comes one more important point is that once we start preparation for those things, then we need to continuously test ourselves. Because what I feel is that most of the time, once we start focusing on getting knowledge or seeking knowledge, then we start getting knowledge. It's fine. The inputs are coming. We are building up notes and all those things. We'll start listening about so many things. And we start understanding, okay, I know this, I know that, and so many things starts coming into your mind. At that time, we also need to understand that we have to test ourselves with reference to some benchmark, maybe a small competition on internet, maybe a small quiz examination on internet or with friends or somewhere where you test yourself. Testing is very important. Testing is important from the perspective that by doing testing, you come to know about your weaknesses. We all carry certain kind of weaknesses. One side we need to increase the strength what we have, we need to bring up that strength. And at the same time, we also need to understand what exactly the weakness we are carrying with us. There will be some kind of weakness. These weaknesses may be due to some kind of psychological issues from your childhood, the way we have grown up. Maybe there may be so many things. Fear is one such weakness, which I will describe at later sessions. So once we start testing ourselves, then it gives us an opportunity to see our own weaknesses. And once we see those weaknesses, then we are in a better position to improve on those points. And this is a continuous process. You're setting your target, you are preparing, you are participating in competition, small competition, some kind of skill testing, and then you are identifying the weak points, and then you are preparing over those weak points, you're building your strength on those weak points, and again you are participating. This process needs to go on for some time. This process needs to go continuously. It may be by doing your routine things in your college times, but somewhere in the back of your mind, these kind of things must be happening, because you need to prepare for that transition stage, which I said you right in the beginning. And always try to remember that in the initial stage, to get first employment or to get into career, the focus is not the salary. The focus is also not on the something big which you want to achieve. Focus is to get into something with your own confidence, with your own knowledge, with your own skill. Achieve that. Fulfill those small task objectives. Once you do that, then you will start understanding the importance of excelling into those things. Today I am better than yesterday. These kind of things. It is not jumping somewhere on the top of some points, building some imaginary targets. I am not saying that. I am saying try to excel step by step, day by day. There need to be some kind of incremental, some kind of additional things which you build up today. So this will bring a continuity in the way you plan your things, the way you prepare and work. So a continuity need to be there. And to continuity, then there will be small steps of excellence each time. And gradually these small steps only will add into big success. It is not something somebody gets a very big thing at one go. It's not that way. What I feel, what I experience. It is a small steps. Then suddenly you will not realize when you have achieved that big steps. You will never realize that you have achieved already that. But your preparation must be for that small fineness, that step. I will beautify that small steps which I am doing. These kind of attitude will make you really confident, really good. That is one very important point as we prepare toward this side. Then one more interesting point about the skilling and testing I must share with you. Have you seen the seeds? It looks so dirty, dull, not beautiful at all, grayish color something. But you see each one of these seeds carry huge potential. If someone is able to position them properly and supply all those basic parameters, then it turns into beautiful flowers. By seeing the seeds, you cannot estimate, you cannot extrapolate that, okay, this kind of flowers will come out or that kind of flowers will come out from those seeds. Seeds looks very ordinary, but they carry the potential of beautifying itself. It can give wonderful results. Think in that line. You, me, each one of us carry massive potential within each one of us. There are numerous possibilities. What I am trying to say is that I am not doing anything. I am saying just you already carry those possibilities with you to become a beautiful flower. How you become, what confusion comes, that I am trying to share you so that you can beautify yourself. So skilling and testing yourself is one such process. And what I said is that this is the way we need to beautify ourselves, because the seeds, the physical look may be something different, but eventually it will give something else. Career is something like this. It's a long preparation, a process to be followed, then something comes out. It's not something will not come out instantly. It consumes time. It takes time. It follows some process. And once that process is over, then something comes out. Then we clap, we celebrate those occasions, those points. That is what I'm trying to convey. Now, one more important point is that sometimes we feel that so much effort we need to make to practice something. You feel tired, you feel exhausted, again I have to practice, again I have to practice. But I am trying to say is that it is not in that way. Initial stages you may feel. Some of you who know the driving skill, even driving, if you take the example of cycle, when we first start driving the cycle, somebody is holding your dad or someone is holding behind you and you are driving it. So that balancing, you are not able to balance and all. It happens for some days, maybe for a few weeks. And then suddenly one day you find that you are able to drive the cycle and you are able to maintain the balance without losing it and without no one holding your thing from the back. Try to imagine those small happiness which you got at that time. It is something like that. Maybe initial days you failed, many times you failed, but one day you made it. And those are the very important moments. Those are the small things, but it gives you lots of understanding. Something like that also happens in life at later stages. If you remember the childhood time, we also used to play during the rainy season. There used to be friends, they will make paper boat and we used to put in the drains. And we used to follow. As a child, following that paper boat flow for some few meters, it's a really big thrill, big news for us. First time we are seeing something going on its own. That imagination gives us real pleasure. Then suddenly that paper boat sinks, that make us sad, that make us feel bad. Then what we do, we will put again. And this time, if you remember, somebody will put some small stone chips to balance that thing and it will move slightly bit longer, bit lengthy distance. You become so happy. So if you see from psychological perspective, when you are trying to learn something, you are experimenting with the problems. You are estimating, okay, this is the way. You are understanding the challenges. You are finding a small solution. Psychologically, at that age, these kind of processes is basically you are trying to solve a solution. Problem solving skill, what we say now. But a child already knows that at that age. This is what I am trying to say. All these things are already there within you. Only you need to understand that I already did those things. Now, at this time when I have to do something else, I need to prepare it slightly differently and I will achieve those things. This is the confidence. These are small things which will give you the confidence that you already know those problem solving skill. Unless you read so many books, you get confused what exactly it is talking. But fundamentally it is the same thing, what I just narrated to you. And once you do it, once you practice it, becomes a routine thing. Some of you, those who have learned driving through driving schools and all, first day when you drive your car or four-wheelers, I am saying particularly, with your trainer sitting on one side, you are on another side and you are driving the vehicle, he will give you so many instructions. In the initial week, in the initial days, if you remember, so you feel so much uncomfortable in handling so many things. To praise someone, release someone, see left, see right, see in the mirror, see in the back mirror, so many things. 6, 7, 10, 20 activities you are doing. Your mind is working simultaneously in all directions. You are totally engaged, occupied. And suddenly one cow comes and suddenly you put the brake and all those things happens. But you see, this phase gets over. Maybe 1 month's time, 1.5 months' time. Even in Delhi, like traffic conditions, it may be over within, say, a month or 2 months' time. Then you will also come through a stage when you will drive your vehicle even without getting aware of anything. Unconsciously you're knowing everything and you're driving it. But just remember the time when you start learning that. So once we start skilling up, once we start learning on the things, initially it gives us so many conditions, so many problems, toughness, difficulties, challenges. But once we continue the practice, then it becomes very easy. So these are the examples I just narrated to you so that you can understand what are exactly the issues which are involved. And what I am saying is what I have experienced that I am trying to tell you. The Kalpataru platform, this platform through which we are trying to exchange and interact with youth is precisely this. We are not here to tell you something which is already there in the books. You can already read those things. What we are trying to say is that these are the experience. With thoughts, with books, one can understand. But to listen to experience, then you will find that these are much more comfortable. You will feel much more comfortable to learn those things. So experiencing will give you a different kind of edge. And this experiencing, what I am saying, skill testing, competing, small games, small wins, small games, a one-step gain. These kind of things will make you very perfect. And in the process, you will also understand what are the problems, what are the weaknesses with me. And based on that understanding your weakness, once you understand the weakness, there is a very big achievement I am telling you. It takes long time to understand own weaknesses. Every time the ego comes and tells you, no, I am good. There is nothing like that. He is wrong, my father, mother, everybody is wrong, I am right. I am saying it's not that. Weakness has to be handled right on the first day, on the first week, in the first month itself. If you don't handle the weakness at the right time, I am telling you with my experience, it will come back to you. And it will come back in those times when actually you want to get rid of this thing, and it will hit you very badly. That's why weakness need to be seen, need to be detected, need to be addressed at very first stages, so that it never comes back. Even if it comes back, maybe it will be mild. But if you hide it somewhere, then I am telling you with my experience, it comes back to you. And at very difficult times, it comes back to you when you are fighting for competition for a few marks, and this small weakness will make you go somewhere else. So with this, I conclude this session. And in the next session, we shall again discuss some of the most important psychological issues, something like this. And we shall continue this learning process in the Kalpataru platform. Namaskar and thank you for being with us.